Oh my God.
I know Kenny's watching the clock.
The locks are up from the tunnel.
Right. In and out, man. Nobody gets hurt.
No, it's
Okay. Call the meeting to order. Roll call. I'm here, Mario's here, Almon's here, Casey's here. Donna's here, Kathy's here, Doug's here, Pat. Sue F is here, John, Ellen, and Fiona's back. Good to see you. Yes. Dave is here, Mike Z, John, Jenny, Zach, Dean, Jeff Putnam, and only great Mike McKenna.
Esquire.
Esquire.
Oh, boy. Casey, move over, you gotta give me some room for that.
On the agenda, I have to add, want to change two things. On item number 12, which is executive session, it should say discussion of existing or potential litigation, mediation, arbitration, or administrative proceedings. Have a motion to approve that change of wording.
So moved.
I'll second. Is there something else?
No,
Okay, so we're approving the agenda with that.
with that, there's another agenda item, which is good. Who seconded, I'm sorry.
Ellen.
The second, we just want to add on item, so we'll make it number 10A, discussion about open house in November. Got a motion to approve that?
Move that.
Second,
I'll second.
second, Kathy.
Ellen.
All in favor?
Kathy, aye.
Same thing.
That's from your voice.
Same voice.
First item, approval of the minutes of September 18th.
Is that Robin on there?
She's not here.
She's online. Is anybody online? Robin online? She texted and
It
said she
looks like she is.
Not yet?
I think she is.
Okay, Robin's online.
Have a motion to approve the minutes? So, John? Second? Casey? Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Anybody from the public? Mike, you're up. Cool. Oh, that's Robin. Thanks, Rob. Mike, you're up.
Hi, everyone. As always, I'll go through the commentary. Just happy to answer any questions after I finish up. I just wanted to start off by speaking about the upcoming building turnover and how hard, the team has been working every day of the week, Saturdays and Sundays and second shift, to hit the dates that we had committed to you guys last time. Today we received the final sign off for the first occupancy approval from the fire marshal to allow students into the upcoming first areas as the gym lobby corridor, the gymnasium, the second floor academic spaces, for a 3-day improvement. Originally last month, we had told you it was gonna happen around October 27th, and then we were actually expecting occupancy for next Friday. So it's a 4-day improvement, and what that allows is the school will be able to hold a pep rally in their brand new gymnasium on Friday. The last turnover area, which includes the first floor locker rooms and the auto shop, is still tracking to the November 10th date. We feel the locker room can still be, pulled back, a week for improvement. But overall, the auto shop itself is still tracking for November 10th, to function as, an actual auto shop. Again, we've been working hard and around the clock, and we're committed to delivering this job with the highest quality and obviously with safety as well. Before I get further into the new addition and renovation area, I just wanted to touch upon last Friday's home football game. A lot of coordination went into getting the inside and the outside ready for the event. But super appreciative of Dean and his staff for their help and the school administration and their flexibility in working with us. Up on the slide.
Can I say one thing too, just like, and then about the auto shop thing, we're still open to this idea of bringing students to our facility down South Main. So I know Brian Scott, we talked a couple weeks ago, I think he said he had to run some things by you, Sue, or
I'll connect. I'm
just
gonna
as far as like logistics and things like that. So we are, and even when the auto shop is open, like it's an option that we're actively
Okay,
looking to engage with you in if it works, so.
all right, thank you.
All right.
As you can see on the slideshow here, we had turned the middle school cafeteria and the middle school gymnasium into a temporary locker room. We procured and installed over 6,000 square feet of carpet and some plastic vapor barrier beneath it to protect cleats, protect the finishes from cleats and equipment. In terms of public access, we have created a fenced-in path using permanent concrete sidewalks and temporary asphalt from the middle school parking lot. We also brought in light plant towers that illuminated some of the dark spots outside of the football field lighting. Not pictured here, we also ran an additional 1,200 feet of fence to create additional emergency egress points and to secure additional areas for a big turnout. Being there, seeing a safe and successful event, like the first home football game, seeing the win as well, it's just very symbolic of all the hard work that went into pulling something off, pulling off an event like this, and then just overall the project as a whole. So, switching gears, just talk about progress, turnover, and the progress of the areas. We wanted to switch up the presentation this month and just take a closer look at the health and state of the upcoming turnover areas. In each slide, there's going to be a comparison to last month from mid-September to earlier this week, just to show how much has changed in such a short amount of time. On screen here, this is the status of the Area G restrooms, which were located in between the middle school and the high school gymnasiums. About a month ago, you could see the resinous flooring was completed. Toilet partitions were partially complete. Toilet fixtures were installed. Low voltage still needs to be connected and energized. Still waiting on the millwork countertops to finish off the sink installations, the faucet installations, and all the bathroom accessories. Fast forward to earlier this week, in less than a month's time, the partitions are completed. Plumbing fixtures are also completed. All the low voltage has been energized for the faucets, and then the flushometers at the toilets. Registers, grills, diffusers, all installed, and they're actually underway. Final cleaning is also underway as well. As you exit those restrooms and you walk down the gymnasium lobby corridor, this is where we were at about a month ago. If you recall, this lobby has all of the overhead supply and return ductwork, hydronic, plumbing piping, serving all the Area H spaces. At the time of this picture, all those overhead systems were being completed, which prevented all of the other finishes from occurring. Again, fast forward earlier this week, all of the overhead mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection overhead has been completed. The ceiling has been framed, ceiling pads have been installed, final painting is nearing completion. The flooring has also been completed. Vinyl base is actively underway. Custom signage, display cases, all of it is nearing completion for the final cleaner to head down this hallway later this week into early next week before the turnover on Friday. Another dark and gloomy picture here, taken from the auto shop side of the gymnasium lobby corridor. It's hard to tell, but the concession stand is on the left and the display cases are on the right side. Same notion here from the progress picture taken this week. On the left, you can see the concession stand has been cladded with the fiber cement panels, and that's complete. The flooring has been run out, and that's complete. Final painting is nearing completion, and at the time of this photo was taken on the 13th, the ceiling pads were not done, but they have all been 100% installed as of today. Sort of noticing a common theme here, less than a month ago, we didn't have any lights installed on the first floor, or none of them were energized or under any sort of control throughout the first floor. Again, this picture was taken in mid-September in one of the first floor locker rooms. You can sort of tell at the time, but the ceilings were framed. The ceramic tiling was almost complete. Fast forward to less than a month's time, the resinous flooring has been completed. Ceilings have been sheetrocked, taped, painted, lighting installed, energized, under control. Millwork countertops have been installed. All the sinks and faucets, low voltage have been completed. In this picture, you see those little box outs on the right side. That's where the toilets go. Those are actually installed as of today. In just a 3-day short span of time, all those toilets are in, and the toilet partitions are well underway, and tracking well for the second turnover date of November 10th and hopefully earlier than that. Moving north, this was a progress picture taken in the athletic trainer's room on the first floor, next to the athletic director's office. At the time, the overhead MEP installations were ongoing. The walls were sheetrocked. You can see the window walls had received the first coat of taping. Comparing progress to earlier this week, the ceiling has been framed, it's been padded out, casework has been completed, doors and hardware have been installed, flooring and vinyl base has been completed along with painting. Getting into the gymnasium, this is one of my favorite comparisons. Back in mid-September, we were just finishing the maple flooring installation in the gym. To get this gym to a point where pep rally is going to take place next Friday, we had to finish all of the gym sanding, do all the lines, the logos, the polyurethane clear coats, install the bleachers, air balance the 2 air handler units up high, completing all the fin tube radiators that generate heat at the clear story windows on both sides of the gym, installing all the wall pads, the scoreboard installation, final painting, and ultimately final cleaning later this week and early next week. Put a picture in here as well, just showing the completed game lines, the logos, the badminton, the volleyball, the pickleball court lines, and the clear polyurethane coated finish before all the bleachers were installed. Looks pretty awesome with all the stains inside the keys, the NVL logos. It's pretty sharp. Fast forward to this week, obviously this whole space is done at 180. The bleacher installations have been completed and final activities are also underway. Just for reference to everybody, the bleacher product showed up last Monday, and the trade worked Tuesday. And the trade worked 12-hour days until last Saturday to get it done from start to end. The dedication and time that each of these trades have been putting in to turn over these spaces, again with high quality, safety in mind, it's just very remarkable to see and be a part of. Moving upstairs to the health classrooms.
Just one second.
No, go ahead.
When the bleachers are closed, it shows THS in white letters. It's really nice.
Moving upstairs into the health classrooms, they were in decent shape as of last month. Fast forward to this week, the windowsills have been installed in the distance. The ceiling has been padded out. Visual display surfaces like whiteboards have been installed. Your smart boards are now hung up in the 2 health classrooms and then the weight room as of today. And then the final cleaning up in this space was actually completed today as well. And then furniture is actively being installed. Another space up here on the second floor is the weight room. At the time of this picture, the rubber athletic flooring was being installed. The ceiling cuts were ongoing. There was no lighting, no mirrors, no final paint, no windows, no laminated safety glazing overlooking the gym. Fast forward to this week, all this has been completed. The mirrors, the safety glazing, ceilings have been padded out. Final painting is nearing completion. The mirrors on the wall, flooring is complete. Whiteboards installed, smart boards, like I said. Lighting installed and energized and final cleaned. Switching gears to the outside, some developments have been made with the brick piers and the concrete flatwork at the entry to the athletic fields. Progress picture from this week shows the brick piers being completed. The granite caps are installed. A significant amount of concrete sidewalls have been placed in the distance on the backside of the bleachers. You can also see the T formed in the middle of the brick piers that has been placed permanently. There are brick pavers in a herringbone pattern that kind of jive between the T and the concrete that you see around the piers and then outside of that ring as well. And then ultimately we had salvaged some of the older gates on the older piers and those will eventually be installed on the piers as well. Moving around the corner, this is at the north elevation of Area H, right in that Route 8 corridor. The loading dock is actually right behind you in the point of view of this picture. As you can tell, last month the mason's setup was still located over on the left side. There was no progress on the site work aspects of the road or concrete sidewalks. Fast forward to this week, we obviously took it when the, it was still raining this week. But drainage systems have been installed, precast curbing has been completed, sidewalks are almost complete around the building. And the goal is to get this road paved on the second week of November and hopefully trying to pull it back on the first week of November as well. Just to do a little comparison too of the athletic field complex. As you could tell, if I go to the next slide here, the 10th, a little hard to tell, but work has ramped up on the south multi-purpose field, which includes the varsity baseball field. Liberty Landscaping is back on site. They're completing the perimeter drainage and preparing for the anchor curb installations around the field. They poured a substantial amount of it earlier this week. You'll actually notice I'm going to go back at the bottom of the page where you see those cars. It's kind of hard to tell when I go to the next slide. There's a large retaining wall that has been installed in just a week's time. All that's left is just running the top cap of that retaining wall and then connecting a little piece over at the end towards the middle school parking lot. Again, I'm going to go back and just kind of look in the distance. You see that black tar, that's your tennis courts. In the last month, we were actually able to apply the color surfacing product for the beige and the custom maroon and install all of the tennis court accessories. So those will be in good shape for the start of play in the spring. Just to talk on items for cost impacts within the period. First being an increased placeholder we have plugged in for some premium labor costs to expedite the work inside of the building related to the turnover of Area H. Last month I had mentioned a value of $35,000 and I have increased that for an additional $65,000 for a grand total of $100,000. At this point I don't have a full value, but conservatively plugging in a higher number based on what I've seen come through to date. As mentioned last period, the outcome will be a draw from the CM contingency. Secondly, we noticed a scope gap related to the top of wall detail at the masonry walls. The top of wall assembly should be sealed airtight for full height. We did not pick up on this at the time of the bid. 95% of the walls in the project are all chipboard. The drywall contractor had owned, stuffing and sealing the top of the wall to meet the acoustical rating of the wall assemblies. We hadn't considered anything at the time, for the top of the masonry walls. Area H on the first floor has, over 100 feet of masonry partition, so there's a decent amount of work that we had to do to stuff and seal it. I plugged a placeholder in at $20,000 for a draw out of the CM contingency. Again, switching gears to the schedule, we're talking about the building, to the athletic fields. I showed some progress earlier on the screen. For the anchor curb installations forming the perimeter of the south multi-purpose field and the varsity baseball field, we anticipate laying the synthetic turf at this field starting on November 10th. Concrete sidewalks and fencing activities for this field will extend into December. In regards to the varsity softball field, our goal is to roll into this as soon as possible with the fence post and anchor curb installations once they move off of the last south field. One thing we've learned here is there are some weather constraints with installing turf in cold weather. The glue that they use to adhere the turf requires temperatures above 40 degrees. But at the end of the day, we're tracking well to get the field ready for the start of softball. That's all I got.
More photos of the site.
Oh, sorry, I do have a few more photos of the site. Drone photos looking at the north, taken on 1010. And on the south side here. And then from the east.
Just got a question.
Jeff?
Is the city still taking that monster pile of dirt? Is the city still taking dirt, or are we back in the position of having to relocate?
Soil. That's what we owe contractually back to you guys. That pile of dirt is associated with the construction. A lot of that is going to go towards backfilling the wall and stuff, and then whatever is left over is an export, which was already anticipated.
Okay, thank you.
Any others? Okay. John?
Good afternoon. We are now up to BL Field Report number 127. We're tracking 38 items currently. 8 of the items are related to punch list work, so they're being carried on an OG's punch list related to the high school and the middle school. And we have another 9 items related to ongoing site work, and 19 items related to in-progress work in parts G, the gym and the adjacent spaces. So all those things are reviewed with O&G on a weekly basis, and as things come off the list, more things go on, so it's fairly dynamic. SLAM issued fuel reports 4 and 5 over the last week. Generally, the items are items that are discussed with O&G in the field. There were some questions about conditions in stair 6 and 7, which are going to get taken care of. Beyond that, we had no more special inspections other than the materials testing. They did some reinforcing inspections. You notice some additional sidewalks in the photos. Those reinforcing in those sidewalks was inspected, and there were no deficiencies noted. Material testing, mostly concrete at this point. In fact, it's entirely concrete at this point. All the site concrete for the sidewalks leading up to the athletic fields. There were 7 tests done on those sidewalks, and all of them came up to the specified compressive strength. Actually exceeded the compressive strength after the 28-day tests, so there have been no concrete failures. Startup testing, as you can imagine, is going on. We had hydronic heating, which is our hydronic fluids, which is used for heating and cooling. That was tested for pH, conductivity, glycol concentration, and iron. Those passed all their tests, and they were all within their specified ranges. And then the domestic water in the new part of the building was disinfected, it was flushed, it was tested, and it passed all its tests for chloroform and E. coli. Indoor air quality tests, inspections are still going on to make sure that there aren't dust and debris and other contaminants migrating around the building. Everything is in order. And then the last part of this was the construction waste management. There wasn't a formal report submitted for the last month, but there was a PCB report issued. It was the final PCB report for the old high school, and that was submitted for review. And it just summarized all the quantities of PCBs that were removed from the old school so that can get closed out. And fun fact, we're up to 832 tons of waste disposed of. 65.1% of that was recycled or went to recycling, and 34.9% was sent to landfill. So that was the school that was removed. And that is it.
Thank you, John. Next, phase 2 application, certificate of payment. We received it, and you also received the list I always give, and I always break it down because we take it separately for the field. We always break it down to Liberty, Eagle Fence, and Field Turf, and Fuji. So, can I have a motion to approve $2,736,131.62? Donna, second?
I'll second.
Armand? Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Next, Mike, you're up again.
PCOs. Start off with PCO 564R1. It's an owner contingency cost of $4,191. There was a funky detail at the north and east elevations of Area H, where the AVB from the parapet blocking was left exposed to view from the outside of the building if you were looking in. We had reviewed it with SLAM and the owner, and decided to clad the exposed areas with brake metal, a white brake metal on timing material. PCO 630 is another owner contingency cost of $1,403. Its contractor had owned providing some new shot clocks, but the electrical power associated with them was not shown on the documents. So we had the electrician wire them on a time and material basis. 631R1 is another owner contingency cost of $939. There's a rooftop on the 1970s edition where the old concession stand used to be. This unit serves fresh air to most of the spaces in Area H and part of Area G spaces. Power requirements differed from the unit that was submitted on compared to the drawings on the schedule. So small cost here is to procure and install the correct amperage breaker again on time and material. 632 is a back charge between trades for some damage to a plastic laminate locker filler piece in the middle school staff workroom. PCO 633 is an owner contingency cost of $13,280. After the January occupancy, the school had noted a concern regarding some sun glare coming in from the southern side clear story windows in the middle school gymnasium. Per request, we had priced up some window film at the south side, at the middle school and the high school gym. And I actually had reviewed the site conditions earlier this week with the installer, and he's preparing to be here next week to get the film installed before the school occupies the gyms, or the high school gym. 634 is a CM cost of $4,010. Typical cost here every month for some temporary toilets in the month of August. 635, owner contingency cost of $9,554. This is an older cleanup change order, but this is for some premium labor related to the electrical, HVAC, and plumbing system installations regarding the PR40 R5 change at the construction technology space downstairs. 636 is another back charge between trades for the painter to remove some tape that the abatement and demolition contractor had left over from earlier this year. 637 is another back charge between trades for the painter to remove some overspray of the cementitious fireproofing in the gymnasium that prevented some of the steel from being finished in the gymnasium. 638 is an owner cost of $1,474. Part of this last phase was creating openings in existing walls to facilitate new window systems. On the north elevation side, which is the Route 8 side, we had cut in the rough opening for the curtain wall in the back, and we were basically left with a half of an existing CMU block that was just left unsupported. So we had the mason remove that unsupported piece of block. Walls together to the nearest mortar joint, and then we replaced it with new from the foundation up to meet the correct rough opening needed for the new window system. 639 is an owner cost of $13,869. In previous building committee meetings, we had cost approved to increase the mix design to include an integral moisture vapor reduction admixture, salt inhibitor, additive to some future concrete placements surrounding the perimeter of the building, and eventually through the athletic field complex. Basically due to the geographical nature of where we are, freeze-thaw cycles, salt protection of surfaces, the integral additive and increase in compressive strength that just aids to the longevity of exterior concrete. Similar thought process here. We placed tens of thousands of square feet of concrete sidewalks without any sort of increased compressive strength or integral additive. So this PCO here just reflects another mean to satisfy that issue by adding a post-applied topical spray known as a salt guard sealer to protect the existing concrete. And we did actually complete that work on Saturday.
I have a question on that.
Yep.
How long does that last?
You can double check. I think
Literature
it
was
was
like 8 years.
I think it was 5 to 8.
5 to 8 years,
Yeah.
yeah. Roughly 5 to 8 years, so every
Oh, okay.
5 to 8 years.
So we need, the board needs to plan to replace this protection.
But,
at
I
some
mean,
point.
what some experts say though is the older the concrete gets, the less susceptible it is to be affected by.
That makes sense.
Okay, so like hers more.
correct.
Okay.
What was the cost of that?
13 grand, roughly. Almost 14.
You guys did Saturday,
Yeah,
complete?
done. Yep. 642 is a CM contingency cost of $9,567. At the beginning of the project, some trade contractors are assigned with trade allowances as it relates to their bid package and scope of work. At the end of the day, these allowances either get used or they get returned back to the project and reconciled via PCO. We've closed a few of them so far, but this one is for some additional wood blocking assigned to the roofer needed due to field coordination. Unfortunately, this allowance was closed with an overage. So there's that cost, and anytime we close an allowance, the balance always gets assessed to the CM contingency. 643 is a CM contingency cost of $75,619. It's a tough situation here a little bit. Back when we were constructing the 5-story high school in area A and B, conventional telehandler equipment like Lowell's, they couldn't reach up to what would be the 4th and 5th levels of the building. Logistically, it was just challenging having all of these hoisting activities impacting, site work operations through the tight corridor on the backside of the building. We saw an opportunity to, alleviate some of those logistical challenges and having the site work contractor, rent this rotating telehandler capable telescopic, I think it was called, reaching heights that we, needed to load in lockers and lighting, casework, flooring, things like that, that we couldn't, fit into the elevator because those were still being installed. With the project labor agreement, we had an operator, full-time on board, operating, this piece of equipment for the whole month of April of 2024 and halfway into the May. So the bill racked up for that at all. 644 is another back charge between trades for a dumpster tonnage charge. 645 is another temporary toilets cost for the month of September. 647 is a CM contingency cost of $6,746. We saw a similar cost here when constructing the high school, but the HVAC contractor is contractually required to maintain building conditions within a certain temperature and humidity when permanent HVAC systems have not been installed or when they're not in operation. The electrician owns temporary power to facilitate construction activities, but in this case, we had added additional 40 dehumidifiers and temporary cooling units that required direct hardwired 208 single phase, I think it was. It's just beyond what was in his base bid scope. So we had him wire everything, all the cooling units, pull additional circuits for the dehumidifiers. We weren't tripping circuits to continue charging batteries and operating tools to get the job done. 648 is an owner cost of $640. On the second floor of the 70s renovation, we were left with some pretty nasty transitions going from the 60s building into the 70s building, needing some TLC and ultimately buying some metal thresholds to span that gap, which is reflected in this cost. 649 is another back charge between trades for cost assessed to the plumber for removing and reinstalling some tiling and some ADA grab bars to rework some of the toilet clearances in the single-use toilets along the auditorium ramp bathrooms, single bathrooms. 650 is a CM contingency cost of $8,021 in an effort to accommodate Eversource's schedule to pull the existing transformer and to facilitate some site work logistics. The existing electrical system was taken out of service earlier than we had anticipated, requiring a generator for the needs of continuing abatement and demolition activities. We had made an agreement with American Environmental, said we'll pay for the rental cost of the generator and you will pay for the fuel. So this is just the rental cost for the generator only. 652, owner cost of $1,579. There was a bus between drawing sets which required an additional flat plate extension needing to be fabricated and installed to support the curtain wall window on the south side of the gym clerestory window. The work was installed on time and material. 654, owner contingency cost of $2,174. There was a conflict on the east side of the middle school building where an exterior light was directly above a security camera that was mounted on the side of the building. We reviewed the issue with SLAM, and the direction we had received was to offset the camera 2 feet, either to the left or to the right. I think it was to the left, to clear a conflict. Cost included is for the communications contractor to rework the piping, which again was tracked on a time and material basis. 655 is a cost, back when we were constructing the gym and the wood floor, the existing slab depression was not acceptable for the approved wood flooring system that we had originally were gonna go with. We reviewed it with SLAM and we reviewed it with the wood flooring installer and ultimately landed on a different anchored gym floor system, which the specified system was still anchored, just anchored in a different way, just epoxy, the anchors are epoxy to the concrete substrate versus just hammering pins into the substrate instead of mechanically fastened. We basically reduced the subfloor thickness of the gym floor. The same maple finish floor thickness is the same. I think you're the one who called the manufacturer and they said the floor is actually it's a saving grace. It's a better floor than the specified floor that we were going to put in.
Yep.
So luckily we hadn't procured any of the materials yet at that time, so we were able to get a credit back on the specified floor and then just paid the delta of I think it was an extra 60 cents a foot over 14,000. So that was 8,000 for the new floor. And then upon discovery, when we were doing moisture testing, there was no vapor barrier discovered underneath the existing gym floor. And by contract, we owned a 6 mil poly. So again, we credited the 6 mil poly back and ended up going with a more premium vapor barrier as well. So we basically paid for a new gym floor system and then vapor barrier beneath it, totaling $31,506. 656 is an owner cost of $2,675. This is for some permanent room numbering signage revisions in the first floor locker room. Back in the day, we had added some more masonry walls to create locker rooms, and it just created more rooms and additional signage changes. 657 is a CM cost of $5,619. We have 6 ADA showers located throughout area G and H. At the time of slab placement, we didn't accommodate for any of the slab depressions for the ADA basins, as they needed to be flush with the floor thickness in the ADA. So we sent the general trades contractor back through, saw cut, chip down to the appropriate depth on a time and material basis. 658 is an owner cost of $23,654. In the high school gymnasium, there is a floor box with power and data communications on the home side of the court. In discussions with the athletic department, Mario was involved. There were some reasons for moving this floor box to the visitor side of the court. We had already cut the specified location for the floor box and ran all the conduit pathways. So we had the demolition contractor saw cut another trench, remove the concrete, and then we had the site work contractor prep the trench, and then the concrete contractor to infill the trench.
So is it on both sides right now or just one side?
One side.
It's on the visitor side.
It's on the visitor side now.
Visitor side.
Installed on them? And then you cut it out?
We had
The saw cut was done, was it roughed in?
All the saw cutting is
Right, it wasn't installed.
saw cutting and demo. The
It
conduit
wasn't installed.
The conduit.
Right, the
wasn't-
condo was not.
The conduit
Yeah,
was not
there
in,
was no cost.
we
in
had
that.
everything else already done.
So why did it have to go to the other side?
That's where the scorer's table is.
So the power had to do with the source. Gotcha.
Power and data.
Makes sense.
Next PCO is coincidentally for the concrete infill required for the base bid location from the home side. We hadn't assigned it at all at the time of bid, so we had to pay the concrete contractor to infill that. 661 is a back charge to MJ Daly for O&G supervision. Back when they were balancing air and water systems in the high school and the middle school in April and May of this year. Last but not least, 662, owner contingency cost of $1,353. Contract drawings called for certain existing columns throughout area H to receive intumescent fireproofing, but accessibility to the entire column was impacted due to the existing, CMU that remained around it. We couldn't access the backside of it if we had, concrete CMU abutting into the web of the steel. So we had to come up with an engineering judgment with the fireproofing contractor and subsequently had to review it with SLAM, the local building department. Basically, alternate detail had introduced some additional cementitious spray fireproofing into the void adjacent to the columns inside the webs. That would end up being left exposed, needing the finished condition to be smoothed out, which is reflected in this cost. And it was tracked on a time and material basis. Doug?
On 633, the window film for the gym,
Yes.
was that something that was anticipated at the time that maybe film would be needed? We'll just have to see what it looks like when it was built, or was that a little bit of a surprise with the
I would say it
glare?
was a surprise. It was never called for in our documents, and when the high school had moved in and they were using the middle school gym, they were getting, obscured glares during gym class, and it was kind of blinding people. So, we had worked with Slam and Mario to find a product that, everybody had liked, and next week they're gonna come and install it.
Okay, no, I just didn't know if that was something that you, I don't know, computer models or something could have anticipated or no.
There was a solar study done, but in practical use, it didn't apply.
Right, no, I got you.
The sun moved.
It does that.
It does.
Yeah, in the
Thank you.
high school gym, we're gonna move them, so when they play basketball, the opponents can't
The opponents
see
are
it,
shooting into the
you know?
sun? That's how it should have been, though, right? That was, yeah.
Mike, I do have another question on that sealer. Did they say how many gallons it took to do the area they did?
The salt card?
Yeah.
We can double check
Look at
it,
the
but they
backup.
had, when we were there Friday, 2 or 3 feet in the back of their truck.
I do have an overall takeoff for.
I'd like to
square
get that
footage.
number.
Yeah.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, it was, double check, but they said it was a couple drums worth.
And the spec on that stuff you're using?
Yep. I
Yeah, we
have
can
that
give it a
letter
drop too,
too.
no problem.
Can I have a motion to approve the PCOs? Casey, second?
I'll second.
Discussion, all in favor? Aye, opposed?
Aye.
What I always give you is the analysis of payments up to date, everybody, all the contractors. I had a listed analysis, progress payments. We submitted progress payments, they approved it on September 16th, and we're still waiting for the check. So, just so you know, hopefully it'll be coming tomorrow or over the weekend. So, next, payment of invoices. First two are from Maya. One is for $916.30. Remember, they're keeping our, the high school equipment and, what would you call it?
Athletic and physical education.
Right, is in their storage. So hopefully we'll get that in once they put, on the 20th, Monday the 20th, contractors coming in to put 19 steel shelves in the high school gym storage area. So right after that, we'll get this stuff back in. And then we have $1,260 to Myers. They had to unload both trucks and put them in the storage. So the total for Meyer is $2,176.30. Have a motion to approve. Doug,
So moved.
second, Robin.
Yep.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye, opposed? Next one is Tri-State. They have 3 invoices totaling $10,094.70. Have a motion to approve that. Armand, second. Second, Casey. All in favor? Aye. Next one is Whitestone. Remember, we contracted to Whitestone $4,000 to come in and make sure everything is copacetic on the field. This one is for $689.30. Have a motion to approve. Casey,
I'll second.
second, Armand. Discussion, all in favor? Aye, opposed? Next one is Interscape, $1,800. They were, that was a charge. They were storing on phase 3 furniture. Have a motion to approve $1,800. Armand, Kathy, and Armand. All in favor? Aye. And the last one is in Silco. And they delivered those things today,
Warmington or
the
the,
odd items.
oh, so they weren't there?
They were not, they were there today. And I saw them, they were delivered today. Got a motion to approve $5,083.40 to Silco, Armand, and Kathy. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. The next one is the project budget. I give you the list, all of that, and it separates the turf project from the main, so you can see all of the POs that we do for the construction and the POs that we do for the services. And also the list of encumbrances for the PCOs for next month.
Ed, how are we tracking on the 900,000 that we have to hold for the?
Yeah, it's on the sheet, and we have, right now, we have 766,000, but we're entertaining some money back on allowances, so,
So we're paying them.
yeah. Next thing, open house.
Yes. We had talked about doing open house on Saturday, what would that be?
29.
29.
29th. Is everybody still good with that? Dean? It's probably a weekend off usually for your guys, but we owe it to the public to show them the building, of course. So,
November.
yeah, Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
And I'm open to suggestions on time. I'm thinking 10 to 3 or something like that, 10 to
1,
2, 10 to 2,
10 to 11.
10 to 10,
10 to 2.
10 to 2.
Yes,
Yeah, the
both
whole
schools.
shooting match.
Yeah.
And we'll have to get some people to volunteer,
Yeah.
maybe students to volunteer, National Honor Society or whomever. And whether, we gotta work it out, whether we just have a tour that starts every 15 minutes or something, or, in the old building, we just let them walk through the hallways. I don't think we wanna do that here. Nobody knows where they're going for one thing.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I think I agree with you, I think we need to have tours set up, whatever,
Right.
like,
Yeah,
Like-
every 15 minutes,
Yeah.
30 minutes, whatever.
right,
Yeah.
like,
So those are details that we'll need to work out. But
We're not gonna have any refreshments, because there could be thousands of people coming, we don't
Yeah.
know. So we'll just have an open house.
Yep,
People
I mean, it
walk,
could be 10 people, could be 1,000, I have no clue. It's a busy weekend, but it's also a weekend that people are home,
The kids are home from school, and
yeah.
so everybody good with that? I don't know that we need a motion, we'll just, we'll agree to that.
and we'll
Sue
sit
will
down,
need
Sue will
to,
sit down with you.
yeah, we'll need to work through you guys and Dean, and
How will that be publicized?
that's a good thing. We really do need to start publishing it sooner than later. Certainly Rachel could take care of it on all the social media, and we'll get the newspaper to do a little
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
Maybe Tim Gaffney,
Yeah, Gaffney, you could do
Yeah.
something on his
maybe the
page.
radio station.
Okay.
Something going on. Oh, there's a football home game, right, that week, Thursday.
Thursday, right?
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
Friday there's an
day.
alumni soccer game, and I know there's a class reunion or two as well on that Friday.
Okay.
So I think it'll tie in nicely.
Yeah.
With all that stuff going on. Okay,
Before we go into executive session, just the next meeting is Thursday, November 20th, but that's parent conferences.
Yeah, it is.
So we may wanna find out and maybe switch it to the week
Can we-
after, the next week before Thanksgiving. Monday.
How about the week before?
The week after would be Thanksgiving. I
The
think.
week-
Yeah, the week
Yeah,
after is
after
Thanksgiving, so the
Thanksgiving.
week before. Thanksgiving, why not?
No, I'm talking
13th.
about the week of Thanksgiving, that Monday maybe.
That's the last day.
So that, yeah, conferences are
Oh, still on that day?
How about the 13th? Could we move it to the 13th?
Monday.
13th,
Which is the Thursday before.
yeah. I don't know if we'll have all the documentation. Because you're off on Tuesday.
No, we're not.
You're not off on Tuesday?
No, we have school.
Oh, okay, what about that Tuesday?
Well, that's even earlier. Do you don't care to have your stuff? The 11th?
No, Tuesday of
Oh, so the
Thanksgiving.
18th before Thanksgiving?
Oh, the 18th. We're not off that day, are we?
No.
It's a half day though.
It's a half day.
It's an early release day.
That's fine, there's a lot of early release days,
Yeah, but
you know.
I know, but people are,
it's conferences, right?
They're off Wednesday, right?
I think that day got changed to PLC and it's an early release.
So when?
Oh, you're talking about the Tuesday before, right?
The
week of
8th,
Thanksgiving?
When is Thanksgiving?
27th,
No, Thanksgiving's
28th.
the 27th.
Yes,
Which day do you want
Thanksgiving's
to
the
do?
25th
Yeah,
No,
let's do
the
that.
25th is,
or the 24th. Conference is still
yeah,
the 25th?
I think the 25th is an early release. I have to look at this one now.
Well, we'll have to send you in advance, let us know
25th
when it is.
It's a Tuesday,
It's
yeah.
a Tuesday? Okay. And conferences are still going on the 24th?
Oh, then if it's only PLC, then you can come at night. It's not a conference day.
I don't think so, I think.
Monday's the last conference day.
Right,
Correct.
right.
So they wrap up the 24th? Okay.
There's a half day of the PLC day.
Yeah.
Students are in session half day, but you can still do
Staff
this.
is here all day.
Because I'll have conferences. Has to go.
Yeah. So the 25th?
Well, we'll look at the 18th or the 25th.
Yeah, it's a holiday meeting.
We'll see if we get the documents ready.
Get your document.
Wait, the next meeting is when?
We don't know.
18th or the 25th.
Okay, the 18th is.
And forgot number 11.
Yes, I know, I was gonna come back, I just wanted to get
Okay,
that dates
sorry.
before. Okay, comments for the good of the order, Doug?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for the answers. Thank you for all the info.
Thank you. John?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Armand?
All set.
Donna?
Good, thank you.
Case?
I want to thank Paul and G, these guys especially for everything they did for us to get that football game last week. They did a great job and it went way smoother than I thought it would.
We're lucky we got young guys, because they were carrying those fences
Right.
on a Saturday, on a Friday, or whatever it was, on the Thursday.
Yeah, Dave wouldn't be out there doing it.
Yeah.
That's fair. I would, if you asked me to, I'd be on it. I would.
Anything?
Nothing, that's.
Zach?
I'm all set.
Thank you all.
I want to say welcome back to Fiona.
Yeah.
I hope it's a permanent condition, that you're here, able to come, and it's very uplifting to see you out.
Awesome, thank you.
Everything looks great. I'm very happy to be here and out of my house and out of the hospital. And
Yeah.
I just want to thank everyone that's helped my family. It's been really tough. Appreciate it.
Jeff, anything?
Welcome back and thanks for all the info.
Dean?
I want to echo Mike's regards as far as these guys, how they work with us and went above and beyond what, took all the fears out of us. And Dave, by the way, there is another game, so if you want to help out.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be gone that weekend too. It's two weekends away, so it's.
Throw it out there.
Robin, you have anything?
No, all set, and nice to hear Fiona's voice.
Motion to go into executive session, discussion of existing or potential litigation, mediation, arbitration, or administrative proceedings. I would want the building committee and John Jenny to be involved in that. And you want to take the place of Mike to listen to what this and Sue Ferguson.
Mike actually emailed you as well, asking for me to be brought in his absence.
Excuse me?
Superintendent Wilson asked for me to be included in that, you'll have that in your email. It was sent to Ed at about 4:30.
Yeah, you check your email.
Well, usually it's only people who are dealing with solely designated for this. I don't know why you're solely designated for this. I don't have anything.
Stand up. Good night. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
What if the superintendent requested it?
You requested it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's in a.
Yeah,
I didn't get it.
I can